This conference will now be recorded.
All right, good evening and welcome to the Alpena City Council meeting, April 4th, 2022. Call the order, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Johnson.
Here.
Councilman Mitchell.
Here.
Councilman Nowak.
Here.
Councilwoman Walchuk.
Here.
And Mayor Walagora.
Here. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
under God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda for this.
So moved. Second.
We'll check.
Gotcha, Mike.
Mayor Pro Tem Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell.
yes,
Councilman Nowak.
Yes.
Councilwoman Walchuk.
Yes.
And Mayor Walagora.
Thank you. Any proposed modifications to said agenda?
No.
Approval of minutes for regular and closed session of March 21st, 2022. Any issues, changes, problems? Citizens appearing before council on agenda and non-agenda items are allowed 5 minutes each to address your concerns. If you'd like to do so this evening and you're live in the room, please come to the podium and state your name and address. Nada? Anyone out in the virtual world? No guests this morning, okay? Or this evening. We have no public agenda, so we're down to the consent agenda, and it's bills to be allowed in the amount of $72,646.91.
I move we approve the consent agenda as presented.
support,
Councilman Mitchell.
yes,
Councilman Nowak.
Yes.
Councilwoman Walchuk.
Yes.
Mayor Walagora.
Aye.
And Mayor Pro Tem Johnson.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Report of officers, we have the second reading of Ordinance 22-472, which amends the City of Alpena zoning ordinance, Article 3, General Provisions, Article 4, Signs, Article 5, Zoning Districts, and Article 7, Supplemental Development Regulations. Bill, take that.
Consistent with council policy, this would not be read again unless one of the individual members wishes to do so. There are two changes from the first reading, both as requested by council, and that is under page 3 of 4, under A6, we added unless otherwise approved by city council. And under B2, we changed this to say fence or railings are prohibited on sidewalks unless approved as part of the plot plan application. So before it made it sound like they were okay to have them, but the council wanted it to say prohibited unless approved. So those were the two changes. So we just need to vote yea or nay at this point.
So I move we adopt ordinance 22-472. Second.
Councilman Nowak.
Yes.
Councilwoman Walchuk.
Yes.
Mayor Walagora.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell.
yes,
Motion carried.
Thank you. Thanks, Bill. Pardon me. Under new business, we have the 2022 MEDC water-related infrastructure grant. City engineer / city manager is here.
Yeah, something like that for today anyway. In April, the Michigan Economic Development Corporation issued a grant opportunity under the Water-Related Infrastructure Program. This program is targeted at assisting low to moderate income communities by providing funding up to $2 million via competitive grants. The grant has an application deadline of May 13th. The city applied for this grant in 2021 for the North 2nd Avenue from Carter Street to Huber Street and was unsuccessful. After its discussion with the grant staff who reviewed our application, the city has decided to reapply for consideration with modifications suggested during this meeting that could strengthen our application. The proposed project involves replacement of water and sewer lines in North 2nd Avenue from Carter Street to Huber Street. It also includes replacing the water main underneath under the Thunder Bay River at 2nd Avenue. The estimated project cost for these improvements is $4,431,940. This project was included in the CIP spanning 2 years beginning in 2022 with completion in 2024. The city will be requesting the grant maximum of $2 million from MEDC and will be matched with an estimated $2.4 million. The project needs to be advertised for bidding by December 31st of 2022, under construction by May of 23, and completed by December 31st of 2024. The engineering department can certainly meet these design and bidding timelines as mandated. So it is therefore my recommendation to city engineer that council adopt resolution 2022-06, authorizing the city to apply for these funds, committing the needed match funds, and authorizing Rachel Smolinski as the authorized contact for the city of Alpena. One thing I do want to add is that last year and other times when we've discussed the Second Avenue project, we've had many questions from businesses along that road and things like that. And I guess I just want to say that now that, we will certainly work with all the businesses to, minimize the impact of this project has on their businesses. One of the things we discussed internally was, the contractor doing one block at a time, having a block completely done before moving on to another block, not having 3 or 4 or 5 blocks open at the same time. That's just one of the things we can do. There's certainly other things. We did manage to have the entire Second Avenue Bridge project a couple years ago done. And, I know the businesses certainly felt it, but, I don't think they're too much worse for wear now than when we had the project. So that's something we do strive to do, and we're going to work with the business owners to kind of help them feel better about it, I guess, going into it. And we're certainly going to have some public meetings with them to determine the best way to handle everything. So
Very good.
But that said, we're not going to know about this grant for a while, and it doesn't even get bid until this December. So we've got a little bit of time.
Any questions? So I'll proceed.
No,
Sir?
no.
I move we approve resolution 2022-06 and commit the funds to match that grant and authorize Rachel Smolinski as the contact for the city of Alpena.
Councilwoman Walchuk,
Yes.
Mayor Walagora,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Johnson,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Noah.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Next up is 2022 TEDF Category F Grant Application.
All right. In March 2022, the Michigan Department of Transportation sent out a call for applications for the 2024 Category F projects. This funding is available to urban areas in rural counties for improvements to secondary all-season access routes within the federal aid system. The city pursued this grant for resurfacing Long Rapids Road from Bagley Street to Metal Lodge for the 2021 call for projects, but was unsuccessful. Long Rapids Road qualifies for the grant due to the amount of traffic, the increased number of commercial vehicles this section of roadway handles, and because the roadway has begun to deteriorate to the point where a resurfacing project is warranted. After a discussion with the Category F coordinator for the Michigan Department of Transportation, the city was encouraged to resubmit for the grant this year, as the application submitted last year was a strong one, but not selected due to just funding availability. In addition, suggestions were made to make this year's application stronger. The project proposes milling the top 6 inches off the street, adjusting manholes, water boxes, and replacing existing sidewalk ramps to meet current ADA requirements, installing a thicker 6-inch cross-section of asphalt, and restriping. The additional depth of asphalt will increase the strength of the street and allow it to withstand traffic load. And the estimated cost of the project is approximately $509,435.75. Category F could fund 80% of the project up to $375,000, leaving the local match of $134,435.75. It's my recommendation as city engineer that council adopt the attached resolution 2022-05 to authorize staff to submit the grant application for the TEDF Category F Urban Areas in Rural Counties program and commit to the local match estimated at $134,435.75. This amount will be programmed into the 23-24 budget year. We expect notification for the grant in December of this year.
I move that we approve 2022-05. Is that correct?
Mhm.
Second.
Mayor Walagora,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Johnson,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Noah,
Yes.
and Councilwoman Walchuk.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next up is firefighter pay adjustment, and Chief Forbush is here.
Good evening. First off, I want to express my appreciation to management and council at going through all of this and answering all the questions and making sure that everything was the way it should be. So the purpose of this evening's presentation is primarily to give that same transparency to the public. As you are aware, there is a critical shortage of paramedics and other public safety personnel nationwide. COVID-19, coupled with increased education and accreditation requirements and societal changes, have dramatically reduced the pool of potential applicants for open positions. At the same time, we've lost at least one existing employee and 3 new hires to other departments in the area because of low pay and benefits here. I was actually surprised to find that it was that low. We have a chart on the overhead there. Can we get the other chart, Charlie? There you go. That's an updated organizational chart, and other one. There you go. That I'd like to share with you because it shows the status of the department as of today. And as you see, each row is numbered. Each day as we start the day, we need to start with 7 on duty at the bare minimum. And as you can see across the 7 line, the 2 black squares are employees that are off on long-term disability or long-term injury. So those are not with us. The number 8 and number 9 rows are vacant. We don't have any of those 6 people. And we're still trying to maintain enough people on the shift to get that 7. At this point, we have 2 6-person shifts and a 7-person shift, meaning there's at least 1 overtime every day to get to 7 on the 6-person shift, and most likely on the 7 as well. The shifts are intended to run at 8 or 9 so that someone could be off sick or vacation or whatever, and you still have 7 without paying overtime. I conducted a salary survey of Northeast Michigan ambulance services to verify whether or not our pay was comparable. In our area, there are no other full-time municipal all-career departments, so it's really hard to compare with other fire departments because they're all far away. So I looked at ambulance services because that is what we do 90% of the time, and I was shocked to learn that even much smaller services pay significantly better than we do. And to make things worse, next chart please, Charlie. And to make things worse, none of the surrounding agencies that I was comparing us with provide fire suppression, ice and water rescue, extrication, hazardous materials, confined space, high or low angle rope rescue, or other types of technical rescue, nor are most trained or certified for critical care transport. So in a nutshell, our people are significantly better qualified than anyone else in the region and paid the lowest of all in the region. The chart you've got there shows our starting pay at $12.34, I believe it is. Thank you. And $15 or so for almost $16 for paramedics. As you can see, that is the lowest of anyone in the area. Large, thriving metropolises like Rogers City and Onaway pay a lot more than we do. And that's kind of embarrassing for us, for the guys. They've got all this training and all this expertise, and we just don't pay enough to recruit them or retain them. And when we start losing people, and we have 1, then we had 3 applicants that came in and accepted appointments. Kathy will tell you the work we went to get these people to come here, and they looked and they said, no, I can't do that. I can't move my family here for that. So what I'm asking for tonight is really not a big thing, but at least it puts us in the lower third of everybody else. I'd like to get council's support to offer a $1.53 per hour pay adjustment to all fire department personnel except management. Everybody on the line, not me. It'll put our starting pay for firefighter EMTs at $13.77 an hour and firefighter paramedics at $17.29 an hour, which puts us below the halfway point of all of the other services. So we're still low, but we're not ridiculously low. And the hope is that as we go into negotiations, which we'll be doing really any day now, we'll probably negotiate something past that, but we got to adjust. We're out of the band. We aren't in the right neighborhood. So, but we do need to adjust to get there. The cost of this increase is about $27,000 for the balance of this budget year based on straight time, as we can't predict overtime due to short staffing. On the other hand, however, for every person that we hire or keep, the overtime is affected accordingly. So everything that we don't do in pay, we do pay in overtime. There's no way to get out of it. We have to provide that number of people. On the same basis, the cost will be $110,000 in the 22-23 budget year. And through the efforts of Rachel and Anna and the whole team, we've determined that that is supportable. That's doable. Therefore, I'm asking your help as fire chief, and with the concurrence of other management, I request and recommend the council approve a $1.52 per hour wage adjustment for all IFF represented employees effective immediately.
53,
$1.53.
I think.
You said $1.52.
Did I? I'm sorry. Yeah, it's $1.53 up here. Thank you.
And one other correction, it's based on regular time for the next coming year without any additional raises, it's $119,000.
Thank you.
So just slightly off.
Yeah. Okay. A tidge off. Thank you, Kathy.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Don't we want to get even, at least reach parity with places like Alpena and Rogers City?
We would like to, but it is a union environment and you negotiate for wages. And so I wanted to get us in the ballpark because I think that you can't start too low and then reject the raise because it's too high. So we need to adjust to be in the band, and then we can negotiate up or down from there. I'm quite certain that the union will ask for a raise and they deserve it. And they'll probably get another raise this year. Not this big, but a little big, so that they can get somewhere higher in that band. We were looking for about a third of the way up the line there.
Okay.
I've got no issues with it, Chief. No questions either.
No,
Thank you.
Appreciate the work you put into it.
I move that we approve the $1.53 wage adjustment for all IAFF represented employees effective April 5th, 2022.
Second.
Mayor Pro Tem Johnson,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Noah,
Yes.
Councilwoman Walczak,
Yes.
and Mayor Walagora.
Aye.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate everything you do.
Appreciate it.
I move we adjourn to closed session to discuss an appeal filed by MBVS Industries LLC.
Second.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Noah,
Yes.
Councilwoman Walczak,
Yes.
Mayor Walagora,
Aye.
and Mayor Pro Tem Johnson.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you, sir.
This conference will now be recorded.
I move we adjourn.